Sup, bitches?
This video contains spoilers for The Walking Dead Seasons 1, 2, 3, and a little bit of 4. Obviously the TellTale series, not the TV show. You are watching Fugitive Red Eye, and today I will be talking with Inferno Stormy here. We're going to be talking about Larry, who I think we can both agree is the most misunderstood TellTale character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's like one of my favorite characters, and I don't think he gets enough appreciation for what he's meant to be.
Exactly, and I think the problem is a lot of people think he's racist for some reason, just because you can call him a racist to dodge the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
the point of calling him a racist is Mark's asking Lee, if I remember correctly, why does Larry hate you? And Lee just want to say, well, Mark, I'm actually a convicted killer. I murdered the man.
Yeah, so exactly.
So he's like, oh, he's racist. And he's only pulling that card because he's black. And everyone seems to assume Larry equals old white, Lee is black. So therefore, Larry must be racist, which is just not true.
Yeah. And, like, Clementine even has the option to say that when you're talking about him in Season 4.
Honestly, I think that might just be either a callback or Clementine, well, she was 8, 9.
Yeah, she probably either overheard Lee said that or Lee made the same justification to her at some point.
Yeah, because, Larry never says anything remotely racist.
Right, and here's the thing. So Clementine is a black child, right? And the thing...
she is, yeah.
She is black. Like, I didn't realize that the first time I played it, because she doesn't look black. She looks mixed race at best, but when you see both of her parents, they're both, like, black.
At the start, I thought she was, like, black Asian.
I thought she was Asian when I first played it. But point is, if Larry's so racist, why does he care so much about Clementine? Because he absolutely does. He says, if anything happens to that little girl, it's on you, and he's really angry, and he wants to make sure that nothing happens to her. Larry is actually protective of Clementine.
Yeah, which you'd think, if he's a racist, he would not be protective of her, and he just wouldn't care.
Yeah. And, like, the other thing is Larry's entire motivation is actually pretty similar to Kenny's.
Yeah, protect his family, and, like, how can you, like, love Kenny and then hate Larry?
Yeah. The
exact same thing.
The only reason I side against Larry is because he's in opposition to Kenny. That's literally the only reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
If Kenny wasn't there, I'd side with Larry.
Yeah, I mean, Larry's motivations are pretty sound. That he just wants to keep his daughter safe, which is actually, he's also got a similar motivation to Lee.
Right. Because the thing is like, the only reason he doesn't like Lee is because he knows that Lee's a convicted murderer, and he doesn't want him to murder any of their group. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to think.
Yeah, because it's fair to assume that Larry doesn't have the context, like the full context behind the actual murder, because the only person who does is Carly, and she was actually investigating it.
Right,
Therefore,
exactly.
You can just assume he's just seen the news, Lee Everett killed the senator, and then when Lee Everett walks up like, hey guys, Larry's like, oh shit, there's a murderer with us now.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, people will bring up the fact that he wanted to, like, throw Duck out because he thought he was bit, but it's like, many characters do similar things. Like, you never hear people get mad at the group from Season 2 for locking you in a shed when they think you're bit.
I mean, I am, but that's a whole different story.
Oh, no, I am too, but you never hear other people... You will hear people defend, like, Luke and Carlos and them, but you won't...
Yeah.
But the same people will talk shit about Larry.
Yeah, but then again, I suppose it's because... well, actually, no, because both of them would have probably resulted in Clementine dying if she never got the...
Right, and obviously, I actually do fault Larry for it, because there literally is no bite.
Yeah,
but,
obviously, Larry's in the wrong.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him, like, a bad character.
No. People confuse a bad character with a character who is morally bad.
Right. And I don't think Larry's morally bad either, though.
No, he's like morally neutral in a way, because he just wants to take care of his family.
Exactly. Like the thing about Larry... the other thing is he'll actually, like, help you out and stuff. Like, he's always a dick to you. That's just kind of the way he is. But, like...
Yeah.
Like, if you actually are, like, nice to him and help him out a lot, he'll be a lot more understanding of you. Like, he'll still have that animosity because you're a murderer. But, like, you give him the axe, he'll actually save you from that zombie when you bring back Ben's friend or teacher, depending on what you did there.
Yeah.
And he'll help you, he'll save you there. Not to mention, he has plenty of banter with you that is just kind of funny. Like...
lots of Larry's lines are just funny. Like, he's got charm coming out of his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
But another thing is, when you're giving out food, you can have the option to give Larry food, and if you beforehand say to Mark that he's just looking out for his daughter, Larry's actually really nice to you.
Yeah.
So he says that, Lily should stop worrying about him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then if you call him a racist, he threatens to kick your ass, which I think is fair enough.
And the other thing is, he doesn't even out you there.
No, he has every opportunity to, if Lee doesn't give him food, doesn't give him the axe, Larry could just be like, hey everybody, that guy's a murderer.
And even if you call him a racist, he doesn't out you.
Yeah, he doesn't, cause, I don't know, he's just not a bad guy. He wouldn't.
Yeah, he's just so that's what you think this is. All right.
Yeah, he has every opportunity to. He could have done it as soon as he saw Lee. He could have done it right at the end of episode 1. He could have done it in the meat locker, but he takes Lee's secret to the grave with him.
Yeah, and granted, he does punch you and leave you behind at the end of episode 1. But again,
yeah,
though I don't like that, I do understand the motivation, because the motivation makes sense.
Yeah, imagine yourself in Larry's shoes. So you've got your daughter, you've got this little girl in the group with you, and the person looking after her is a murderer. You don't know what else he's done, and then you're given a chance to ditch the murderer who's possibly going to kill someone in your group. Would you not do it?
Right, exactly. Matt, the thing is in the show, the Walking Dead show, which I don't like anywhere near as much as the games. I think the games are better.
No. Yeah.
But I do like some of the early seasons of the show. Shane is one of my favorite characters, and he makes those tough decisions all the time. And Shane, I would argue, is much more morally bad than Larry. Yeah, but I still understand Shane's motivations, and think sometimes you kind of need that attitude in that kind of world.
Yeah, exactly. I think personally, if Larry somehow never had a heart attack anymore after the meat locker and he survived, I think he would have made it to the end of episode 5.
Yeah.
Or near episode 4-ish.
Yeah.
Because of that attitude he had.
Right, exactly. And I think it's interesting, too. I like that the game never confirms for you whether or not he was turning. You just see him open his eyes, and that could mean either he's turning or he's alive.
It's not even his eyes, his mouth,
Yeah, you're right, it is his mouth. Because, I've heard people argue that's proof that he wasn't a zombie, and then I've heard other people argue that it actually is proof he's a zombie, because they leave it ambiguous.
Yeah, okay, so my argument for that, which I know this is completely off topic, but this is something I'm also passionate about. So, in the drugstore itself, he has a much, less severe heart attack, and he needs the pills to survive.
Right.
That's the whole part, point of the first episode.
Right.
Or the second half, at least. In the meat locker, he has a heart attack, which is so much worse. Because in the drugstore, he's conscious, and he can even tell Lee to fuck off, which is also another funny Larry line.
Yeah.
Trademark. And, but this one, he's fully unconscious, and Lily even says his heart's not beating. And they've got no pills, and CPR doesn't bring you back, it just keeps the blood flowing.
Right.
And there's only so long Lily can do it. So, yeah, in my eyes, Kenny was justified.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Kenny was justified.
Yeah, I don't know if I would, have the balls to do it in that situation, but he's definitely in the right.
And, that's another thing. This is, again, going a little off topic, because I've already done my Kenny videos, but here's the thing. When that guy in that We Don't Talk About Kenny video, he tries to say that Kenny's a coward who never stepped up, he literally smashes Larry's head no matter what you do.
Yeah, if Kenny was a coward, Lee'd be like, no, Kenny, do not do that. Kenny'd be like, oh, okay, Mr. Urban, I apologize. And then everyone would have died.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is Kenny steps up plenty of times, so that video's just wrong.
He fucking leads the group in season 2. How is that cowardly?
Right. Yeah, no, that video made no sense to me.
Let's not even, it's also in the video, it's oh, Kenny's the first one to jump at, the opportunity to get out, and he portrays that as a bad thing?
Yeah, exactly. I don't... He didn't want to be enslaved. Everyone else was just willing to accept it.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, I don't want to be a slave. How is that bad?
Yeah, exactly. Another thing, if we're talking about Larry, I guess I'll talk about Lily, too. I have very mixed feelings to Lily. I have not completed Season 4 as of yet. I just barely got to the part where Lily's actually introduced. I know how it ends. Because here's the thing, I initially didn't want to play Season 3 or 4 because, in my opinion, the actual ending of the game is Clementine leaving with Kenny and AJ, and that's just the end. Because I reject just how half-assedly Season 3 handles the endings to Season 2.
Oh, yeah. Don't even talk about that.
Yeah. But I do like Lily as a character, too. It's in a similar way to Larry. Her motivations make sense. She's looking out for the group.
Yeah, and...
The only time that I completely turn against Lily is when she kills either Carly or Doug.
But the thing is, even when she's trying to kill Doug, she's in the right. She's trying to shoot Ben.
Right.
It's just that Doug pulls Ben out the way and gets shot. And that's another thing. If you don't save Carly, Lily is 100% right in the RV.
Yeah.
She is,
absolutely.
On the dot.
Yeah, when it's Carly, she's wrong, but when it's Doug, she's actually correct because she blames Ben for it.
Actually, no, because in Carly, she then blames Ben and Carly, so she's half right at least.
Yeah, there you go. That's another thing. Ben is another misunderstood character, which maybe would warrant its own, because I like Ben. A lot of people don't like Ben.
I love Ben. I can't get enough of him.
I genuinely feel bad for him, and I think Kenny saving Ben is one of the... Well, not saving Ben, but putting him out of his misery is one of the best scenes.
Yeah, because, that scene, because one, it shows Kenny's, full arc of Season 1, and two, it's just realistic, because, Ben is a kid. He's, mid to late teenagerhood. He's not even an adult yet. And, if you put yourself in his shoes, if the bandits are we have your friend, you're going to give us supplies or we'll kill him. What are you going to do? No.
You're going to give him the fucking supplies.
Yeah, and I think it is a bit of a stretch to blame him for, duck and catcher, but I guess you could kind of,
Well,
see.
I know I said... When I did the response to We Don't Talk About Kenny, I did say Ben is absolutely responsible. And let me be clear. I stand by that, but he is indirectly responsible. The bandits are absolutely the ones responsible. Yeah.
He didn't actively get Duck and Catcher killed, but it's because of his actions that the raid happened, that the Walker got in, that it bit Duck, and that it bit Catcher. So it is Ben's fault, but it isn't Ben's fault full stop.
Right, exactly. It's the bandits' fault, really.
Yeah, because the bandits came in, they started the raid, which attracted the Walkers, so, But I can understand why Kenny blames, Ben.
Oh yeah, of course Kenny's gonna blame Ben.
No, the best part about it is, even in the attic, you can tell Kenny to try to loosen up on him, and he says he's angry as hell, and then he kind of confesses that he's not angry at Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of shows that he's taking his anger out on Ben, because he is kind of responsible, but he's not the one he's mainly angry at.
Right. And I honestly wish we could have gotten more with Larry, though, too, to kind of bring us back on topic, because I think that Larry is a really good character that a lot of people just don't appreciate.
Yeah, I think Larry is, he is, one of the most unique characters in Season 1, because if you think about it, many characters in Season 1 are likable, Ben's likable, Chuck's likable, Kenny, hell, even Lily's likable, if you understand where she's coming from.
Right.
But Larry is, just so, he's such an asshole.
Yeah, he's just so volatile, it's really hard to like him.
But it's...
but that's why I like him.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to like him, but because of his, who he is, that's what actually makes him likable.
Yeah. I also think it's funny, too. It's a fucking dick move, but I love doing it sometimes, when you're in episode 2, when they're at dinner, and you're like, you know what? Fuck you, Larry. Eat up.
I do it every time.
And then you just have him eat human flesh.
No, yeah, because then even Lockie's like, you motherfucker, you knew it was me and you let me eat him.
Yeah.
And, she was like, don't be an asshole.
I love doing just fucking asshole things as Lee in Season 1.
Yeah, because, I think it's bit in character because, Lee is a good guy, don't get me wrong, but, if you were in his shoes, you would have done the same, let's be honest. Right,
well... Especially if you tried at every turn to make Larry like you and he's still being a piece of shit.
Yeah, I did this playthrough once where I was fully on, Lily Larry's side, which bit me in the ass at the very end, because Kenny.
Right.
But, I thought, and obviously, it's a TellTale game, so I knew, nothing would change, but I hoped, I get, a line change.
Something.
Even Larry would be, I don't know, chill it in the meat locker. But, no. And that kind of made me a bit... It made me cry inside.
Yeah. Well, I actually did, 2 playthroughs of the game leading into my previous Walking Dead video. I did one where I sided with Kenny the whole time, and then I did one where I sided against Kenny the whole time.
Yeah.
And the one where I sided and that was season 1 and 2, by the way. And the one where I sided against him the whole time, I called that playthrough Walking Dead, but I hate myself.
Yeah.
Because siding with Jane was the worst fucking thing. I hate doing that. It's the hardest button for me to press.
I hate that woman with a fury.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a video on her one of these days too, because she is fucking awful. I explained my points about her in my "We Don't Talk About Kenny" response, but she's just awful.
Yeah, if Larry's the most misunderstood character, Jane is the
the second. Jane is the second most misunderstood, but in the exact opposite way.
Yeah, exactly. She's also misunderstood, but because people oh, she was just trying to prove Kenny for who he is, and for what? That he's angry that a baby got killed.
Right. But I don't know. I think that's probably all the points we could make on Larry, right? Unless there's something else you could think to add.
I think that Larry is he's the basis for what I think is in every game, and that being the asshole character.
Mm-hmm.
So, in season 1, it's Larry. In season 2, it was originally going to be Rebecca, but then they pussied out, and then it was
Nick
Carver.
Nick kind of
masked Kenny, and then if you're normal, it's Jane.
Yeah.
And then in season 3, it's David. I hate him.
Did you know that Kenny was originally going to be in Carver's role?
Yeah, actually. Season 2 was meant to be a lot darker than it actually was, and I don't think Kenny being Carver would have made any sense.
No, I think that the way that they honestly, I've said this multiple times. Kenny's season 2 arc is my favorite part of the entire TellTale series. But
how he goes from because he's on the path of recovery from season 1. Then the cabin group shows up, throws him into a prison. He gets his eye beaten out. His girlfriend gets killed. Then everyone's angry at him because he's mourning. He snaps at Clementine, which I will admit is not a cool move.
Yeah.
But then he apologizes. He mans up, and then he snaps again because the kid, the baby he's trying to raise,
he thinks it's dead.
Thinks it's dead. Yeah, exactly.
And he thinks that Jane killed him, which honestly is a reasonable thought, because the entire time she's with you, she keeps talking about how we need to get rid of him.
Yeah, she's literally never at any point said, "Oh, that baby, I like that baby."
Yeah, she's always he's a liability, we should get rid of him.
Yeah, honestly, the way Jane speaks about people just gets on my nerves, honestly.
Yeah, she's a heartless bitch, and everyone acts like she's the sensible one.
Yeah, she compares Kenny to Carver, when in reality she's more like Carver than Kenny.
Yeah. Now, I got a comment on my Kenny response, actually, where this guy tried to tell me that Kenny would have absolutely locked you in the shed, too, and I'm like, no, he fucking wouldn't.
If he knew Clementine or if he didn't.
That's a good question, right? That actually does make a difference.
Because if he knew Clementine, absolutely not. But if he didn't know Clementine, let's be honest.
Yeah, he probably would have.
Yeah, he probably would have. So they've got a point.
Right.
But
I think it was good.
But if it's season Kenny that has known Clementine for months, then he would never do that.
Yeah.
Because how he treated her, first season.
I'm willing to believe that if it was a random kid, he would have been more willing to lock them in the shed. But I would counterpoint with, he might have been more hesitant to do it because of Duck and Larry wanting to throw Duck out.
Yeah. So he's got that experience.
Yeah. Again, we can't know that, but especially since we don't play as an unknown character, we play as Clementine, and if it was Clementine that he saw there, he absolutely would say, "Fuck you, we're bringing her in."
Yeah, exactly. So that would have actually been that's actually a really interesting what if what if Kenny joined the cabin group.
Yeah, that is a
you need to do what ifs. That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, that would be fun. I want to play through the games a few more times just so that I'm more knowledgeable, because I've played through these games plenty of times. It's just I'm certainly no expert on them.
Yeah.
Especially since Season 3 I have only played through once, and by the way, I like Season 3 a lot more than I thought I would. Another character, I will say this, again, we keep going on tangents, but that's fine. A character who I think is also incredibly misunderstood is David. David is honestly one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I was speaking about before. I think he's very angry, but I don't get why people would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna choose Kate over David."
Yeah, fuck Kate.
I hate Kate.
Yeah, Kate is the Jane of Season 3.
No, because actually no, because I thought if you never show any signs of interest towards her, and when you reject her, she's like, "Oh okay," but if you kiss her in the junkyard, she actually just bitch slaps you.
Yeah, well, I rejected her every step of the way, And then David got mad because, you know, she fucking said, "Oh, I can't believe I ever loved you." And then it's like, bitch!
Like, to be fair, David there's a bit like, I can't believe I ever loved you. Like, David, I've shown no sign of attraction to her.
Yeah, obviously.
Why are you hitting me?
No, it made me, like, David's death in Season 3 was really sad. And then I found out you can save him, but the way you save him is fucking stupid.
Yeah, you gotta have, like...
you have to have Clementine obey them at every step in the flashbacks.
Yeah, which is not in character.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I guess David is meant to die.
I think it makes more sense with David's death.
I agree. Like, I honestly think that him dying is the better scene, because I've seen both outcomes, like, where he, like... Well, I've seen all three outcomes. I think the one where you go to find him and then you see him before he dies, I think that's the best version.
Yeah, I think one of the worst ones where you just see him dead and, like, Javier's like, oh, no!
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
But yeah.
I think Gabe's dying in that ending, so I think that's why his attention's more fixated on, you know, Gabe.
Right.
Gabe, by the way, hate him. Hate him with all my passion. He's the worst Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, for me, Gabe's kind of there. He's annoying, but, like, I don't necessarily hate him, but I do find him annoying.
I despise him.
That's fair.
I need to do a Walking Dead character tier list, because he'd be pretty low.
I did a character tier list, but, like, I literally made a section called non-canon, and I literally put all of the Season 3 and 4 characters in there because I hadn't played them yet. Because again, I don't like the way Season 3 handles the endings. Like, I actually love Season 3, but I wish Clementine just wasn't involved in it. Like, if it was just a self-contained story.
Yeah, like The Walking Dead Michonne, which I haven't played.
Yeah, well, that's probably awful.
Apparently, it has a really overpowered character in it, because I saw on this, like, YouTube poll, a guy called Randall, he apparently fought, like, 3 people off at once.
Huh. Yeah, I'm going to play Michonne, because I plan on streaming every Walking Dead game now. Then again, does that mean I gotta crack out my copy of Survival Instinct?
Oh, I remember,
I pre-ordered that fucking game.
Oh, when I first heard about The Walking Dead, I didn't know it was the TellTale series. I thought it was Survival Instinct, so I bought that. I was like, why are people talking about this? It's not good.
No, Survival Instinct is awful, and I pre-ordered it. And you know when you pre-ordered it, that's how you got access to the Horde mode.
Really?
Yeah, you could not play... Well, they called it Herd mode, but it was basically, you know, the Gears of War Horde mode or Halo Firefight, but Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You could literally only play it if you pre-ordered the game.
Don't you play as, like, Daryl or something?
Yeah, you play as Daryl, and Merle is, like, there with you.
What the fuck? That's random.
Well, I mean, Daryl is a fan favorite character, so...
Yeah, but, like, this was released, like, pretty early on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's
also a prequel. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the stuff with Negan, but Corbin tells me I need to because he says I like Negan.
Yeah, Negan's actually really cool. He reminds me of Carver a bit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, also he's played by the guy who plays the comedian in the Watchmen movie, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah. So, and Corbin tells me a lot of the times he just basically acts like the comedian, so I'm like, okay, I gotta see this.
Yeah, he cracks a lot of jokes. If you're gonna do it, there's a scene, I think it's, The Day Will Come When You Won't Be, where it's actually the actual Negan introduction episode. Watch, like, the actual, like, one that was televised and not the Blu-ray, because the Blu-ray, what it does is, it's more comic accurate, but it just sounds like a child, like a teenager got on the mic, because it's just constantly like, you motherfucker, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Whereas in the actual televised one, he's more, like, sinister, and, like the fact that he doesn't swear often, or, like, at all, kind of makes him more menacing.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
But yeah, I think we've said all we have to say about Larry, so I think I'm going to wrap this video up again, unless you think we missed anything important.
We've jumped from Larry to, like, like everything else.
Right, so, exactly. So I think that's probably a good stopping point for this video. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, Larry, good character. And then we talked about many other characters, so there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, this has been Fugitive Red Eye. Have a good one. Toodles.
Well, that's easy. I got charm coming out of my ass.
Yeah, that's real charming, Dad.